he would have no idea who I am standing there in front of him. And I'm not even lying. He points at me and he goes, you're that nurse kid. So about 2 weeks ago, I went to Twitchcon. But there's a twist. I went to Twitchcon without face revealing. I went to a convention with a big old badge with my Twitch name on it, without anyone who's watched me before having any idea what I look like. And you might call me insane, you might call me stupid, but this made for some really, really funny stories. And I just thought I'd do a video where I share them all with you. I completely forgot I had that add-on on. Oh my god, that shocked me. Okay. So pretty much the only people that knew I was going to TwitchCon were the people I was staying with. I almost missed, oh my god, I almost completely missed her. The people I was staying with were, oh my god, Emily, Classed, Vision, and Rapid Main. I want to actually try and get use out of this add-on really quick. They were in a locker. Okay, sure. So out of the 4 people I just named, only one of them is from the UK like me, and that's Classed. So me and Classed met up in London, and then we flew from London all the way to San Diego, which was where TwitchCon was. And that was actually the first time I'd ever left the country on my own without my parents. So it was a pretty crazy experience, to say the least. I don't actually mean to be tunneling this Feng, but I just didn't see the person that saved her at all. There she is. I could see her through the window. Unlucky Feng. And when I tell you we tried to get JRM to come to TwitchCon, we tried to get JRM to come to TwitchCon. But every single time this guy said something about the flight being too long or customs being too long when you get to the US. So with all the horror stories I've heard from other people and just from James about how bad the flight is and about how bad customs are when you get to the US. Ooh, nice double back. Bro, I can't see anything in this house. When I actually got to San Diego, the flight was absolutely fine. I was absolutely dreading it for so long because of what James said. But the flight didn't feel bad at all. It was only about 9 hours-ish. And then we got to the front of the customs line, me and Classed. We got through it really quick, by the way, like 2 minutes. And I go up to this guy that's like, has to take a photo of you, has to take your fingerprints. Absolutely terrified because, oh my god, this arena is laggy, okay. That was insane. If she's lagging all... how am I meant to blink on this? Okay. And I get to the front of the customs line, and I basically say to this guy, he takes your photos, he takes your fingerprints, and he asks you why you're here. Because basically these people, if they want to, can deny you access to the country completely. So he asked me why I was here, and I said, oh, I'm here for TwitchCon. And bearing in mind, we were the first people off our flight talking to this guy, so he probably had absolutely no idea what TwitchCon is. So he looked at me dead in the eyes and just goes back, you've came all this way for a church? And I was like, no, it's a convention. But long story short, we got through all of the customs that I was absolutely dreading for months. Completely fine. We got all the way through. We met up with Vision, Emily, and Rapid, and we actually got into our Airbnb and went to the convention itself. I really enjoyed the convention itself. I don't really have anything to complain. What is this game? I don't really have anything to complain about. Behavior this year, for whatever reason, did not host anything for Dead by Daylight at TwitchCon. So there was this unofficial, like, DBD player meetup that we all went to. I hadn't said anything about me going to TwitchCon, and nobody knew what I looked like, and I didn't even have my badge on when I went to this meetup. Which made for some pretty interesting stories. Feng, hello? Okay. What was that? So I went to this DBD meetup, and if you don't know anything about America, for whatever reason, in the UK, the legal drinking age is 18, but in America, they decided that that was too low, and the legal drinking age is 21 in America. So I couldn't drink, but not only could I not drink, I literally couldn't go to this meetup because it was at a bar. But for whatever reason, this bar had triple booked that night, so there were like several other meetups happening that night. So nobody was really in the bar, and we were just all kind of lurking outside. And who comes along other than spookyloopz? Now, me and spookyloopz follow each other on Twitter. He would have no idea who I am standing there in front of him. But he does recognize someone I'm with. Rapid Main, he's a content creator that uses his face in all of his thumbnails and typically does a lot of face cam. So him and Rapid are talking loads, you know, hugging, everything. It's like a family reunion. And then he comes over to me, Classed, Emily, and Vision, and he just shakes our hands and, you know, says his name. So I say, oh, hi, I'm Alf. There was no reaction from Spooky when I said, hi, I'm Alf at all. He was just like, okay. And he left and he talked to the other people at the meetup. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. But maybe him and Rapid are just really good friends and I don't know him like that. But 5 minutes later, this guy runs over, comes back over to us, because he must have been talking with someone else, someone that I've already talked to at the meetup. And I'm not even lying. He points at me and he goes, you're that nurse kid. Which was really, really funny because he just mustn't have made the connection in his head whatsoever that Alf meant me. I'll give Kate the escape. Well done, Kate. GG's. Thank you for the lunchbox. Ooh, nice dead hard as well. Also, I've just realized now that I've not had my key light on this entire time, so... Well, I mean, at least I wasn't getting blinded and distracted the entire time. We'll take that. And okay, I was about to start talking because I thought I was about to find a survivor, and I just... Oh. All right, Meg in a corner. Things you love to see. So to carry on, if you've never been to Twitchcon or know anything about Twitchcon, Twitch has a thing called partners, which are basically streamers on the platform, or any streamer with an average of over 75 viewers. And there's an area at Twitchcon which you can go if you're a Twitch partner, just called the Partners Lounge. Now for me, being from the UK, I have never seen a content creator or a streamer... Oh my god, she just stayed still. So going into this partner lounge felt so weird. And like everybody, loads of people that went to TwitchCon that couldn't get into the partner lounge just sort of camped outside of it, waiting for streamers to come out of the partner lounge or go in, which I have to admit wasn't a bad strategy at all. So me, Rapid, Classed, and Super Aranova were all leaving the partner lounge when we saw someone called Emma Langevin. Now, Emma was one of the 2 streamers that I really wanted to meet whilst I was at TwitchCon. And in general, I don't think I'm the kind of person to really ever deal with social anxiety. I tend to always be pretty all right. I'm never really too worried. So I saw Emma and I was like, oh, I want to get a photo. And I like kind of just thought in my head what I was gonna say, and I went over and let me tell you, my first experience meeting like a big streamer and somebody that I like enjoy their content, and it doesn't matter what I reversed in my head. As soon as you go over, everything is gone out of your head. But whatever I said, I managed to ask for a photo, and that was really nice. That should be coming up here somewhere. And we also met some other people at TwitchCon. There's a DBD streamer called Duckdan, who I met up with his girlfriend, lilsimsie, who's a pretty big Sims YouTuber. And whilst we were meeting up with these two, Duckdan and lilsimsie, we met up just outside the partner lounge again. This was a completely different day. And if you know, and you may have watched me for a while, but you may have never realized where the whole boys today actually comes from. I've talked about it on stream before, but it's very possible that you would just have no idea if you've only watched my videos. But I watch Ludwig a lot, and I really, really wanted to meet him at this TwitchCon, because this was like pretty much my only opportunity. I'm quite literally even wearing his merch right now. So meeting Ludwig was a pretty big deal for me. And Duckdan says to me when we're meeting up, oh yeah, you just missed Ludwig. Like 5 minutes ago, yeah, he just went past. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way I just missed him by like 2 minutes. And I was so sad. I was so sad that I missed like, basically like, I missed someone that I've watched for so long. For example, I think I had like 1 million channel points. Not even over exaggerating in Ludwig's stream before he moved to YouTube. So he was like someone that I completely messed that up. Someone I really wanted to get a photo with. So we did a quick check of the partner lounge just to see if he was in there, and he wasn't. Left me a little bit sad, but it is what it is. And we came back outside to where our friends went. She just went into the locker, didn't she? Because Emily, who we were with, wasn't actually partners, and you can't take +1s into this lounge. It's only partners, and that's it. So we came back out and met back up with Emily, and we're just chilling there for a few minutes. I'm still a little bit sad. And then what do I see? Out of the corner of my eye, I see a guy with bleach blonde hair, a hat, and a mask on. And straight away, I'm like, that's Ludwig. I'm pretty sure that's Ludwig. And I was a little bit skeptical, but then comes along Nick, who does a podcast with Ludwig as well, so I recognized straight away that it was definitely Ludwig. And I actually got my photo, which, again, I'll flash up again, with both Ludwig and Nick, which was really nice. Towards the end of the trip, it was Emily's birthday. Emily was actually turning 20. Oh, I don't hit that, do I? And she wanted to go to a Korean barbecue place for her birthday. And we went there, and the wait list was like 2 hours. It was a pretty, I don't know, like a pretty prestigious place. So we decided to give it a miss and just come back later and just go back to our Airbnb and just chill in the pool for a bit. If you don't know, this is definitely going to take a turn sooner or later, but we go back to the Airbnb. It's about 10:30. The Twitchcon days were pretty long, and we're all just chilling in the pool, like talking to each other. No music or anything. We weren't being too loud. We were just sort of talking across the pool. And our Airbnb, we were spaced pretty decently far away from any house anywhere near us, so we knew we were pretty much fine. And maybe something I shouldn't have done is I got out the pool and I decided to do a front flip into the pool. So I got out, was debating it for a little bit, and I stand on the edge. I ready myself. I probably do the most disappointing front flip ever into the pool, but I mean, hey, a front flip's a front flip, right? And as I'm going down, as I'm literally mid-air, I see out the corner of my eye. Now, I'm a Dead by Daylight player. I know what a flashlight is. Oh god, these guys actually do the gens. Fair enough. I know what a flashlight is when I see one. And there was a guy who was coming around the corner. All of us were in the pool already, so I know it wasn't any of us, with a flashlight, which was pretty terrifying. And I lived in the UK pretty much my entire life, but when I see a flashlight, I instantly just thought, oh my god, like, the police are here. What is this? Why is there some random guy with a flashlight? And I go into the pool. I'm like literally underwater. I can't hear anything. I come up and I just see this guy like shouting. And he must have been, I don't know, one of the neighbors, which was really weird because we weren't being very loud at all. So I don't know if he just came by the house and did like a check on the noise and just heard us or something. But he was shouting about how we were being too loud and it was too late, which I guess it's fair enough. We were pretty late, but I felt there was a different way to go about it than coming around the corner of the house at 10:30 at night with a flashlight, like he's about to flashlight save a survivor, like he's rocking up like Aaron or JRM, ready to get the beamer save. So that was pretty terrifying. And then coming to the end, all of these guys are oblivious. What is happening? Coming to the end of the trip, this guy's really fast. What? I guess that was just a sprint burst. He seems really, really quick. I don't hit that. Okay, fair enough. Coming towards the end of the trip, I'm gonna tell you one of the last stories I have. And I really want to set the scene for this one. I had not slept in about 24 hours-ish. I was on the way back. I was on a train from London back to Manchester. And I had an open return ticket. So I get on the train and I'm coming back. And the ticket inspector comes up to me and asks for my train ticket, which is, you know, perfectly normal in the UK. And I go over. I show this guy my ticket, but he looks at it and he kind of, well, you know when they do a look and they obviously have a problem? He definitely saw something wrong with my ticket. And I was like, that's weird, because when I looked at the ticket, it said open return. And I didn't think there was anything else to it. But apparently, open return, if you look further into the ticket, specifies whether it's off-peak or peak. And I was on a peak train, like peak travel times, and my ticket was off-peak, which definitely wasn't the best, because this guy then looks at me and says, this ticket isn't valid. And I was like, what do you mean? Not knowing about this peak off-peak thing, it says open return. Why would it not be open to any train? And he's like, no, there are basically rules that you need to follow with the peak off-peak. And I'm just in my head right now. I have not slept in about 24 hours. I have been traveling on an 11-hour flight, on trains throughout London, on the train I was on currently, for a grand total of probably 20 of the 24 hours I've been awake. And I just wasn't even all there. I tried to debate the guy a little bit because I was just so confused on what was happening with my ticket and why it wasn't okay. But the guy basically says to me that I need to buy a new ticket because for whatever reason, the train was not, I was not allowed to be on the train I was on with my ticket, which was really, really confusing. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. I probably messed something up, and I give him my card. And he charged me £200 for being on the wrong train. So if you're taking anything away from this story, if you're from the UK, an open return ticket is not an open return ticket. Do not mess up like I did. Because if you mess up like I did, it costs quite a lot of money. Well, these survivors are actually really good. But basically, that's pretty much all of the stories I have from TwitchCon. Never done a video like this where, like, the main focus isn't the game. So I'd love to know what you thought of the entire video. Whether you liked it, whether I should do more of these, or whether it's just not your kind of thing. But overall, I had a really good experience at TwitchCon, and I can't complain. Oh my god, she's right here. Turn bust. I can't complain at all. And like we've hit 100k and everything recently, the only reason I could go is because of all of your guys' insane support. So thank you all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, GG's.